Hey, Honesties! Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Thank you all for being here. I hope you all closed out 2023 in a way that you're happy with, okay? I'm extremely excited for my first episode of the season. Hold on. I'm your girl, Zena, in case you're new here. All right. Nice to meet you. Come again. And for my first episode of the year, I have a very special guest with me. He's a content creator, videographer. No, sorry, not that.
I'm all of it.
You are a videographer, editor, act,
all of it,
host, podcast. I mean, what don't you do?
I do everything.
Tell them who you are.
Hey, man. Hello, people, listeners, viewers. My name's Elischa Edouard. Straight out of Haiti, living in the beautiful New York City. And I'm a soccer content creator, host, personality, just soccer entertainer is what I like to call myself. Like, because whatever video, audio mediums that exist in soccer, like I do it. I do skits. I talk about the game. The host things.
You are so passionate about soccer. I remember the first time meeting in the studio, and it was right after the not the World Cup, right after the World Cup last December. And I walk into this room and I'm like, oh my God, I watched the World Cup and I was so happy for Messi and I was so hungover. Literally, that's how we met. Do you remember?
I remember perfectly because I think you had the most energy out of anyone I had met thus far in this podcast space. And I was like, where did she come from? This firecracker. Like, she's just like, hi guys, what's going on? And I was just like, I love the energy. But
Thank you. That is me. Literally, I was so excited. So I want to start off today's episode with a little this or that, right?
Okay.
All my guests get it from now on. Okay. So it is specially curated to you. So I say this or that, you say your answer, and we keep it pushing.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Kylian Mbappe or Lionel Messi? Is it Lionel or Lionel? Lionel Messi.
Lionel Andres Messi.
Okay.
Messi. Offer it. No. Next.
Oh, okay. Messi. I thought you were gonna go with your Haitian sensation. I know I said this or that and keep it pushing, but all right.
Messi. I'm a Barcelona fan. Messi, Barcelona legend. It's not even a question.
Copy that.
Messi.
All right. Food. Griot, which is fried pork, or tasso, which is fried goat.
Damn.
I did my research.
Damn. Griot.
Ooh, okay.
Griot. Because it's harder to mess up. It's harder to mess up because tasso is goat. Goat is like you have to put your foot, your elbow, your knees and toes in the food, in the cooking to get it right. Yeah. People mess up goat very easily. Griot, you can't mess that up.
So it's like salmon. It's a little safe.
It's safer.
You know, if I get it from any Haitian store, there's a chance it's gonna be good.
Griot, you're going to a Haitian spot, you ask for griot, 9 times out of 10, you're valid.
It's gonna hit.
Griot.
All right. I've never had griot or tasso ever. I don't eat red meat. I'm actually vegan now, but I grew up in St. Lucia. When I moved to America, I stopped eating red meat.
Apologies to the vegans for my facial expressions. She just caught me off guard. I mean, what? Vegan? Yay! Fun!
Don't be fake. Right? That's how I feel about it too. I'm like, damn, where's the fun in this?
Yo, I tried being vegetarian, I tried being vegetarian for a month. I thought it was gonna be torture because I love meat, right? Like chicken, beef, everything.
You're carnivore,
steaks, man,
to the T.
To the T.
Okay.
Through my core and my soul, like I need it. But like I tried it just because, like, I don't know, I kept seeing signs to like, yo, you should try and go that route, whatever. And so I took the challenge and I tried it for a little bit, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. Because being from the islands, it's like there's so much that you can eat without meat, but you don't realize it until you force yourself to stop it.
It's a challenge.
And then for that month, it was just like, oh, like, I could do this. And then my birthday came, and I was just like, yeah, I'm done.
I gotta celebrate. I need some meat to celebrate this new year.
Facts.
I like that.
Facts.
At least you tried, right?
Yeah, I tried it. But now I know that if I do decide to extend it or take it seriously, now I know it won't be super difficult. I know I'm gonna miss it, but I could do it.
It's doable.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like that. Do you like creating content or editing content?
Oh, creating.
Okay.
Creating.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Same. Same.
Yeah, yeah.
And my final.
Yeah.
Wine or beer? I can't believe this is the question that has you stumped. I can't believe it.
What? Being from Haiti, Haiti got some good beer.
Really?
Yes, Prestige. Shout out to Prestige.
Oh, I know
But-
that brand.
Oh, wine. Damn.
Why is this so
wine.
difficult?
Because, like, I have a thing with very specific beers that have
Uh-huh.
my heart.
Mhm.
But wine, it's like you can have rosé, you can have white wine.
There's
you
a
can
lot of
have red, but there's
options.
so
Different bodies.
and
different,
wine is
yeah.
just wine. You feel better, like after drinking wine
You
than
too.
beer. Yeah,
Wine makes me sleepy.
Yeah.
But it's a good sleepy or good
wine
drunk.
is good. Fun fact too, I stopped
Okay.
drinking for the whole year.
Of
So-
2023?
So I haven't
Last year?
I haven't drank a sip of alcohol since December 31st, 2022.
I am so proud of you.
Yeah. Disclaimer, I don't have a
Wow.
problem or anything.
no.
It's just I literally I never had a problem. I literally am doing this thing though where like every year I'm either adding something or removing something just like to challenge myself for like the whole year. And so this year was alcohol. And yeah.
You mean last year was alcohol,
Well, last year.
2023?
Yeah.
What can I ask you? What are you adding for this year for 2024? Or removing? What are the New Year's resolutions,
So
if any?
I'm adding minimum a book a month to read.
I like
Because
that.
with
Mhm.
with the life I live, like I challenge myself to read a lot more,
Mhm.
but sometimes it's just because every day a lot of the time it's so uncertain. Like I tend to like the time where I'm supposed to be reading, like I have to something else is a priority.
Yeah.
And so I can't spend too much time and like consistently stay on it.
It's
So,
hard.
yeah.
I want to start a book club, but it's extremely
Yeah.
difficult. You gotta
Yeah.
be locked in. So
Yeah.
how do you plan on like really locking in this time?
So I've already started. I'm like I like to emphasize whatever you want to do for the new year
Mm-hmm.
started before the year starts. So I've already started implementing like a lot more discipline in my schedule because I know that like being self-employed and doing freelance and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have somebody putting that structure for you. And although I've been doing it, pretty well for a few years now, there could always be more structure and more discipline in how I operate. And so one thing I started doing is like planning out my days by the hour. So like the day
Oh.
before I have every hour.
This
like,
is what really
knocked
successful
down.
people do
Yeah,
also.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Take me
that's
through
what I'm
that.
trying to do. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I have like, before the day comes, I have from the morning when I wake up, which is it could be anywhere from like 5 to 6, 6:30.
Okay.
I'll have the wake up time, breakfast time. I'll have, everything. Like whether I gotta work out, go to the gym or do a home workout.
Do you
everything
write this
is
out?
like, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I do it all in my head,
No.
and it's
Mistake number one. Mistake number how?
What do you mean how?
How?
So I do mine more so not by the hour, but in intervals, right? So between, let's say I'm off today, for example,
Yeah.
it's a Saturday per se. Between 9 and I wake up at 9, right?
Yeah.
I want to get to the gym between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
I want to be back home from the gym by 12:30. Like
Okay.
that's how I more so do mine. So I'm
Okay.
not giving like
Specific.
at this hour, this
Yeah.
is what's happening. It's more so the time frame. But when it's not on paper, it's hard to hold myself accountable.
Yeah,
if that
you
makes
gotta,
sense.
like I'll use like the notes app or something.
Yeah.
So I have like Wednesday, Thursday, and sometimes I'll lay it out like a few days before too. But
like
I think
that.
what it does, being really specific, it challenges me to have to also not waste time. So it's just like if I have to do this and I know it's gonna take me 30 minutes, I should keep myself accountable for only spending 30 minutes on this.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be spending 45 to an hour on
Yeah.
it. But if I do, then I know that okay, I have to be a little more diligent with the next
With the
thing.
next
and then
thing, yeah.
most of the
To
time
keep
it's
that
like
schedule like
yeah,
intact.
and there's 24 hours in a day. More often than not, like you have things are gonna happen that are unexpected, but you have time to kind of move around.
Yeah.
And so it's just like you have to take into account, sleeping early also because you got to get those hours in.
Yeah. The rest
Yeah,
is
but
important.
it's a challenge, but it's working out so far.
I like it. It's
Yeah.
a good challenge to have.
Yeah.
And I like the one book a month. I think it's realistic,
Mhm.
and when when I make my book club eventually.
Yeah.
I want to like also give myself that flexibility, like it's
Yeah.
a bigger book or like more wordy than a month and a half. Like be realistic, you know, in your goals. What I would like to add this year is meditating on the horizon, like really ground myself before I go out into the world, like talk to God before I talk to anyone else. And also express gratitude, like when I first wake up in the morning. Like I do it now, but I want to be more intentional. Like I want it to be a part of my routine.
Yeah.
So
and it works.
Yeah, I know.
It works. Meditation is so big.
Did I still like?
No, but that's something I should get back to like more frequently. Like I still meditate from time to time. Like I pray every day, but like meditation is, you know, it's a bit different, but it's so good for you.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very underrated. More people should meditate.
I think if the entire world's meditated, we will be like at so much peace. Like we would literally like learn how to communicate with each other, learn how to like speak without even having to speak. You get what I'm saying? Like
you'd be surprised how many people, like if they would just even breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Like so many people, if you would just breathe, like there are people who are serving 20 to life right now who, if they would have just took a few seconds to breathe, they wouldn't have done something that got them in trouble.
Yeah.
Like it happens every day. We deal with those frustrating moments that require just a little bit.
A breath.
It's just a breath.
Yeah.
Just.
But that's what I've learned from meditation is literally like when you breathe, you get to process, you get to slow down. Yeah. And I'm trying to implement it in exactly what you said in those moments where I may be losing my temper. Like I got to remind I literally have a tattoo here that says just breathe. I thought it was here. I wanted it here. My mom said no. Because I wanted it to be a reminder, you know, but instead I got it on the rib.
Just breathe.
Yeah. But
just breathe.
I am looking forward to 2024. But in the meantime, let's get into what you do. Walk me through your like day-to-day life creating content. Like I love when I open my Instagram and I see a skit of yours pop up on my page and you're like talking football. You're talking these love languages with football players. Like, tell me more. Tell the people what you do.
So, on a regular day, it varies so much. But I create, you know, soccer or football content essentially. Like for the most part, for myself, for my own channels, I do skits a lot. Whether it's by myself or like with friends. I have a group of people that like I do consistently skits with. My friend Blaze, my friend Angelo, like we kind of like have this ecosystem now that, you know, we're still building out to where we're each doing different things in our own space, but we're still able to like collaborate, you know, on a lot. And so that's why like Blaze does a lot of not a lot, but all the, you know, football love language videos with me. And my friend Angelo introduced us and like I literally shot the first part of that skit series the first day I met her. So seriously? Like he just was just like, yo, this girl is dope. You're dope. Y'all got to do something together. I thought of something. We met. We just chopped it up for a little bit, filmed it. Next day, it just posted it like crazy. Yeah. And so we've been doing it ever since. But even, you know, she does her own thing and he has a podcast and we just,
I'm laughing because I literally like, I see her in my head, right? Just so clueless. And like the way she says the names and you're like trying to be so patient, but you're so passionate. I'm gonna drop a little like insert so they can get a feel of your content. Yeah.
Come on, ref!
Yeah, referee!
It's ref. You don't want to say the whole...
Ref!
Yeah, ref. It's just ref. See, that guy, he's Brazilian.
Like bundles? Like his hair, Brazilian?
You understand what's going on?
Yeah. But like, it's like your own little community, right? Of like, kind of like a cast.
It's dope because it's like, that's what you want. Like you kind of want to be around people who have similar mindsets or who are in the same industry as you, because it helps, you know, you pour into each other. Like there are things that I know that they don't know. There are things that they know that I don't know. And so we help like feed into each other. Yeah, exactly. Shit. And so it's like that. And usually I'm either filming something, whether it's a skit, whether it's like a sit down, you know, thing like this, talking about football or like kind of selfie style videos. Sometimes I'll just see something and I'll be like, I want to talk about this, and I'll do, a video about that.
How do you is it hard sometimes to take what you have in your head and explain it to someone else? Let's say that person is shooting it or they're going to edit it, right? To bring that vision of yours to life.
That's the good thing about being surrounded by people who also make content. For the most part, they get it.
Okay.
Right? So, and the times where I've had to kind of explain it to people, depending on the person, sometimes it is difficult because like they're not seeing it from the same lens
as you.
So it's hard to so I kind of have to be in front of the camera and direct it at the same time, which is challenging. But, I enjoy that too because I like teaching people stuff like so that the next time, you know how to do this or maneuver through it.
Or you can teach someone else something I've taught you.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, for me, it's all part of it and I love it. Like, again, I get to either, watch soccer, talk about soccer, go to soccer games. Like, that's just...
Like, who would not enjoy that?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, how did you get into soccer? Like, did you play growing up in Haiti? What was that like?
So I grew up in Haiti, like you said, and that's the main sport over there.
How old were you when you moved to America?
11.
Okay, I was 10.
Yeah, 11, and like my middle name is Ronaldo. Like I was, my family loves it. My dad is crazy about it. So it's always been a part of my life. And when I came here, I was a little disconnected from it when I moved to the States, just because I didn't have the same community around me.
Yes, that makes sense.
But then eventually it's just...
In New York too, a lot of people, they like football and a lot. That is the sport that's really pushed in American culture.
American football, basketball, stuff like that. Yeah, so, but then, the love never left, and so the older I got, the more I started kind of seeking like that community, the bigger the passion grew for the game. And, the more I was watching, the more I understood it. And so like alongside it, that passion for making videos and creating overall, just creating, whether it was drawings or anything else. Like I just always like to make things. Okay. And so that just kind of came together eventually and just, formed that. But yeah, soccer since birth has been a part of my life.
I remember like growing up and like my dad watching soccer, like cricket. I think those were like the two sports in St. Lucia. And I would be like, what's going on here? Who got the ball? Like all I cared about was the goalie. And honestly speaking, like I really only watch like the World Cup. Like I'll watch like few games here and there. Depends. Like this, I was dating someone and he was really into soccer, so here I was. Or like if my dad is visiting, he'll watch like Union, I don't know, these other teams, Liverpool, I don't know.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, give me one more.
Manchester.
Hold on, yeah. Wait, one more. You don't have enough. Damn.
Now I just know the countries. Like I can tell you France, Brazil,
there you go. There you go.
I don't know.
There you go. You got a few. You got a few. You get points for that. Most people can't do that.
I tell you, when it comes to sports, I think sometimes it confuses people because you remember you said like I walked with all this energy, right?
Yeah.
And like a firecracker. And with sports, like I'm so competitive. Like I'm so like sometimes I feel like I'm on the team playing. Like I get so passionate and it engulfs me. And I think that's like part of the culture in soccer. Like I remember like countries like Serbia, they would like burn stuff when people with the flag and stuff, like stuff like that, right?
It's intense. It's an intense game. Like I there's nothing compares to this game. Like that's from the outside looking in, a lot of times to people like they don't get it. But like being in it, the intricacies and how deep it is for some people. Like this game will unite entire nations, and it can also like break up families, and it can build you up, it could tear you down, it'll stress you out. Like people have caught heart attacks because of it. Like it's
literally like a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, it's intense. Like there are people who in their will, like they want to be buried in the colors of their teams. Like there's priests in some towns who their stole is designed with the city's team. Like it's intense. It's like very, very intense. It's part of their lifestyle.
Can I ask you, is there anything watching soccer has taught you like through your life, whether it's creatively or just as a character wise? You know what I mean? Like,
one of the biggest thing I've learned, and it goes for all sports, but especially in soccer, is like it's not over till it's over. Okay. So like till the final whistle blows, it's never over. And you don't remember it in the moment, especially if you're supporting a team and you're losing or something like that. Like, whether you're winning or losing, a lot of people tend to forget that, like, until that final whistle blows, anything can happen. And this game will remind you that time and time again. And I think that's like, it's a metaphor for life too, because if you're still breathing, like, it's not over. Like, you have another chance, right? And
can I just interject to tell you my favorite quote from this girl, the Hood Healer, on Instagram is, as long as you have breath, you have options.
Amen.
Because it's literally anything is possible. Amen. You can make something happen.
Yeah.
So I love that. That's your takeaway. But finish up.
But that's essentially it. Like, it's a fact, but a lot of times, like, we get so caught up in the moment, in our own emotions and insecurities and just stress and all of those things that, like, we forget that, like, no matter how much you're stressing, no matter how much this is troubling you, no matter how much this person's pissing you off, this bills, whatever, like, the sun's gonna rise tomorrow. Yeah. And if you're still here to see it, you have another shot of, redemption. Absolutely. And so for me, it's like that. Like, in soccer, there's so many times where, like, the game's been decided in the last few seconds, in the last kick of the game.
And it surprises people because they never see it coming sometimes. Or they lose that hope, you know? And then when things get turned around, we go into overtime or there's a penalty kick. Like,
exactly.
You're literally on edge because it's like, damn, I didn't see this coming, but I'm so happy it's happening. That's really how life be, though.
And and the people who really can live that, like, who make that their truth, who, like, if you can really put that into your day-to-day, like, those people survive. Like, those people are the ones who thrive. Like, if you can really understand that essence of, like, until it's over, like, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna keep fighting for this, I'm gonna try to win this, like, you live a much more fulfilling life that way. And, you tend to not beat yourself up so much, because imagine you're, again, in a soccer game and you try your very best, and whether you win or lose, you can walk out of that knowing that I gave everything I can to the last minute. But a lot of athletes will tell you, and soccer players will say that, like, what haunts you the most is when you gave up before it was over. Like, mentally, you checked out before it was even over. So that, like, you have to think back at that. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, damn, I could have done more. I could have gave more. I could have stayed focused. I could have pushed more. Yeah.
Wow. I love that, because even like as an athlete, it's not just you, also it's your team. When you give up internally, you give up that hope of that team also. It's like, I don't even believe in them to take us there because I don't believe in myself. Like, this is real. I honestly, like, never looked at sports for a deeper understanding and perspective. It's always just been for my entertainment, to pass time because I'm bored. Like, it's refreshing to have this conversation with you and to get that perspective and to, like, literally make me think, like, damn, girl, you've been looking at sports wrong the whole time.
There's so many lessons. Like, I remember somebody who I look up to a lot is Kobe, and God rest his soul. That's somebody who I looked up to a lot. And he got into writing a lot, or like producing books. And one of the things he spoke about is that he got tired of seeing so many kids' books about animals or talking vegetables and fruits. And he's just like, yo, can we teach kids about things that are actually, like, real and teach them lessons through real things? And one of the things that obviously he knows best is sports. And through sports, whether you're in team sports, which, again, there's so many dynamics in working with people and managing egos and, taking responsibility for certain things, for yourself, accountability for yourself, but also being able to take people as they are with their flaws, with their strengths, and managing, like, there's so many different intricacies with it, to, like, one person sport like tennis or, golf or something. Like, there's a lot within that one person army that you can learn too. So yeah, sports could teach you a lot.
I never even thought of those kind of, like, differences. Like, I'm just not that invested.
Yeah.
But
That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for, people. New perspective.
literally, I'm like, damn, I don't even look at like tennis. I mean, I know tennis is a sport. Let's be for it, right?
Yeah.
But like, I never think of singular sports and the importance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just you.
yo,
It's just you. It's 1v1.
You know, sometimes I think that's harder
Mhm.
because it's literally you to push you, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, at least with a team, as I was saying earlier, you know, like, damn, if I let them down, I'm
Yeah.
letting them down, you know?
Yeah.
But when I gotta show up for myself, like,
Yeah.
I always say this, like, I want to go 10 times harder.
Yeah.
And now I understand, like, the
Yeah.
Venus, the Serena Williams, you know, the Venus, the Cocos, the Tigers,
Yeah.
like, that's a one-man sport, and it's really them.
Yeah. And it's when you're in a team, some people, that's why it's easy to kind of blame other people.
Yeah.
When you're in a team sport.
Yeah.
When it's just you, there's everything you learn before the actual sporting event starts. That's it. Those are your weapons right there. And so you just have to make with what you have.
Yeah.
And so there's a different level of like intensity and confidence that you have to have also in focus. To like hone in on you.
Yeah. In the best light too.
Yeah.
Like, block out everything else and really just focus on that internal voice.
Yeah.
They gotta meditate a lot. I'm so sorry. I feel like as a
Yeah. It's like even in team sports, there are positions that are a lot lonelier than others. Like when you're a goalkeeper in soccer, like that's no one can, like the defense can help you in a way, but that last push, that last stretch, like you having to stop that ball, nobody else can do that for you.
But you.
Right?
Yeah.
A defender has another defender, 2-3 other defenders. A midfielder has 2-3 other midfielders. Yeah. Forwards, a lot of times you have others who are similar, close to you. Yeah. That goalkeeper, once they get past that last line of defense, it's just you. So.
Damn.
Yeah. It gets intense.
So you're still a team, but damn, you still got some lonely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this insight. I had to give thank you because it's literally, I never thought I'd be having this conversation. You know? And that's one of the things I love about Pardon so much, because I get to challenge and push myself to really like be able to have conversations about anything and to keep an open mind about learning, you know. I do want to get into, you know, sometimes as a creator, you get mental blocks, you get times where you just cannot create, you know, it's difficult sometimes. So how do you push through those challenging moments where you may lack inspiration? And what are some ways in which you return to yourself to find inspiration, or just some way you find inspiration?
Yeah, for me, like I pray a lot. And so that's one of the main ways for me of just like being grounded again. Because again, sometimes like you get into those times where you've been going and creating and you kind of, that well kind of dries up for a little bit. Yeah. You don't have anything that you can draw from. And so for me, it's like prayer helps. Like up until this point, and I don't expect it to ever happen, like God's never failed me. And so like if my intentions are pure and I ask for something, and I'm not asking for like, hey, give me $1 million tomorrow. It's like, hey, give me, help me to see things from a different perspective. Help me to be open to new things. Help me to, you know, like it's more of like, help me to be in this environment and I'm going to do my part and do the work. But
just like put me in the room.
Yeah, put me in the room. Whether it's also my own self, like I'm an environment, if it's clearing that out, if it's, you know, making me see something that I'm doing right and recognizing it, or make me see something I'm doing wrong and recognizing it. It's like just, that's something that helps me a lot, but also just kind of removing myself from it all. Like sometimes that's what's blocking it.
Isolation.
You're so into your bubble and your space that there's nothing, and if there's nothing new within that, there's that mental block. So sometimes it's also like, taking a step back, removing myself from what I'm used to, and just seeing, you know, more of what's out there. 9 times out of 10, I get more inspiration to do soccer content from the outside world rather than from actual soccer.
I figured.
So
that makes sense. That's sometimes with Pardon, it's hard to come up with topics, you know? And I think excuse me. Mm-hmm. For me, I when I have those moments of like, damn, I don't know what I want to speak about. Like, obviously, like now that I do one-on-one guests, it helps because you know you kind of want to cater it to your guest. Mm-hmm. But I think I look at what are the conversations I want to hear? Yeah, that I may not be hearing, you know, or what I want insight on. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But in times I used to like want to be a stylist, a blogger. I used to want to do so much creative things, but I found myself like going to museums and just like letting my mind interpret art the way it chooses to. Yeah. You know, like with no one else's influence, no one's like, this is what I see. It's literally just what I see. Yeah. You know, and I don't like to like, I think with Pardon, I don't like to look at other people's content. Is that hard for you sometimes as a creative?
So for me, I'm gonna try to say this in a way that don't make me sound arrogant. Okay. But
say it.
Because talk shit. But because especially in the soccer space, there's nobody else like me. Mm-hmm. It's like I can watch everybody else's stuff because there's nothing that I'm like. It's like if I was, it's like, let's say I was a stand-up comedian, right? A lot of stand-up comedians don't watch other stand-ups because they're doing something, again, it's just stand-up comedy. There's the joke's gonna be different, the way you speak, whatever is gonna be different, but it's stand-up comedy is it's literally what you're doing from another person, right? Yeah. In this space, there's nobody else that's doing exactly what I'm doing. So it's just like, because I kind of stand on an island alone, it's easy to kind of, I can consume other content. And sometimes I'll find inspiration from other creators too within the same space and be like, oh, I could add this to what I'm doing. I could add that. Or just collab with them. Like I'll do that too and just, let's make a video together. Let's do this. Let me step into your world, you know? Or let me bring you into my world. There's a lot of people in that space that don't do a lot of comedic stuff, that don't do a lot of skits. And I'll be like, hey, like, let's do this together.
Skits?
Yeah. I rarely write anything.
Really? So it's just like
it kind of just it pops up and I'm like, oh, I kind of draw it out in my head and it's just like, let's just do it.
So you think you're funny?
Yeah, I know I am. I know. But yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah, facts. I would hope so.
You know what's funny? Real quick, off topic, but still on topic, right? One time I was at a bar and this guy just kept interrupting my conversation with my friends and he was like, I'm a comedian. Yeah. So what do you think I told him?
Tell me a joke?
Yeah.
I can't stand when people do that. When they do that to comedians, it's just like, now, just that question itself kills any possibility of someone being able to make a funny joke.
Why is that though? It's on cue.
Tell me a joke.
Yeah, so he's like, I don't have a joke. I go, it's like a magician with no magic trick. And I thought that was so funny. Like,
yo, you psyched them out now.
I did.
Any possibility, but then again, I feel like that's probably your plan in the first place.
It was.
Like, yo, leave us alone.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. It wasn't the nicest thing to do. It was definitely a mean moment, but also it was like, damn, I would have liked to have heard a joke. Oh, so I love to like go back and forth with people.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT for that. Just in case. Just in case. Yes. Tell me a joke. I'm gonna ask Alexa, yo, give me some options for jokes. So if I meet you in public, I could be like, I got it right in my pocket.
Yes.
Boom.
You have to.
Knock, knock. Who's there? And then bang, just go into it.
But you gotta keep it soccer related. That's my challenge to you.
This year, I'm gonna do that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Mbappe?
Yeah. Mbappe who?
Mbappe who? Yeah. Stuff like that.
I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna craft that one. I
want you to. And I want you to remember, like, it was this day, this very moment when this idea came to life. You know what I'm saying? Damn, we went through my outline so fast. I love when shit just flows.
Come on.
I got one. Water. Of course, yeah. With creating content and you play this persona, right? Is it sometimes hard to separate like Elisha from Elisha 2.0? So when we see you on Instagram with the fur and the smooth walking and talking.
Oh no, that's me.
Oh yeah, that's
me.
him.
Yeah, everything smooth is me.
Really?
It's like it's yes, but no, because it's, I don't know. For the most part, I'm a very just humble person. So, but I have my, like, I'm also comfortable with myself. So like, and it helps with what I do so that, you know, the parts of me that are bold, like I have no problem just being that and showing that. And so, and again, when it comes to like dressing up or, you know, even in speaking or doing public interviews and stuff like that, where I have to put myself out there, like it's for a specific goal, it's an objective, you know? So like if I have to go out and talk to people in the street and interact with people, like I don't do that in my regular life. Like on a day-to-day, I'm not running up to random people like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Yeah. So it's just like, it's good to separate it in that sense. But for the most part, it's a very thin line because I don't really, unless I'm playing a character, I'm not really performing. And even characters is very, like, for the most part, it's my personality. Yeah. So it's not very different from how I am on a regular. I have, like, although being extroverted, like, I have a lot of just times where I'm mostly quiet, you know, and a lot of people are surprised by that. They're, because they see the videos and they're thinking all the time. Yeah, and a lot of time I'm just chilling, you know, unless something presents itself where I don't have to be. So yeah, I try not to also be like a cartoon, so that I don't feel like I'm really being someone else. Like,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so when I'm going from like a skit to hosting something where it's me, you can still see a lot of that
personality
in it, because it's, for the most part, it's still just me.
Yeah. I feel like at your essence and at your core, it's this big personality. You like to make people laugh. You like to like showcase your talents, right? Yeah. And so it's easy to translate that onto camera because that's who you are at your core already. You know, when you do the skits, it's like, yeah, I'm saying these things. However, that personality, it's in me. That confidence, it's in me. So that's easy for me to translate that onto the screen. That's it, pretty much.
Exactly.
You were like saying it and it was coming to me and I was like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, because that's one thing I've learned from, and again, I like to look at the people who've paved the way and like who've inspired me a lot. And that's why I love like watching interviews, because I get to, the people who I don't get to have a conversation with, I get to take a deep dive into their brain and their thoughts. You know, I've watched every Nipsey Hussle interview out there. I've probably watched it, like Kobe interviews. Like, I'm a big fan of the Breakfast Club. So Charlamagne the God is somebody who I've listened to a lot. And one of the things he's always said is like, don't be a caricature of yourself. You know, like, you don't try to be this overly exaggerated version of yourself to try and cater to what you feel like people want to hear. Like I always say, like, however boring you think you are, like, there's an audience who thinks that you're super interesting. Yeah. Right? So you don't have to step outside of who you actually are to entertain or to amuse, or to try to fill a niche
that you feel like you want to fill. Yeah. You know? It's interesting you say that, because with Pardon sometimes, Billy from the 25 and Over Club, shout out to Billy, that's my homie. We always talk about Pardon, like sometimes it's a character. Yeah. Right? Like, in being in a relationship sometimes, you're like, he'll know that's your character. Like, he knows that's not really you, right? And with Pardon, I'm always like, but this is me. Like, I show up as myself. Yeah. However, I think I'm learning to draw the line, or over time I've learned to draw the line. Like, as much as this is who I am, even like the way I have certain conversations or present certain topics, there still has to be like, this is my character, if that makes sense. Especially, I feel like, when you have to consider other people's feelings or, you know, or involved and so forth. But through and through, I'm like, I feel like I just show up on camera and I just talk. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's, and that's what makes it even more seamless. And that's, I think people relate to, whether it's radio show host or podcaster, through authenticity. Like, a lot of people don't want to feel like they're like they want to feel like they're listening to somebody that they can also talk to. And I think that's the beauty in long form like content and podcasts. It's like you're listening, and in a way, like you're a part of the conversation. So you want to feel like, yo, I could talk to these people. Like this.
Like,
There's people I could talk
literally,
to
we're all
every
in
day.
one room and we're all just having a conversation.
So it's like, exactly. So anybody watching, listening right now, like you want to feel like, oh, these are the homies. Like this is friends. This is people that even if, you know, they're strangers, like I could just sit down and chop it up. So yeah, I think there's this fine line. Obviously there's like a certain etiquette or whatever. And, you know, in normal conversations, you don't have a predisposed, produced questions or anything
but
like
we
that.
kind of, all right. Oh, the pre-produced questions. Okay, that wasn't what I was thinking about. When you said predisposed, you know, and you said there's podcast etiquette. I'm like, we should have that same etiquette in everyday conversation of the allowing each other to speak, and we're not like, you know what I mean? Like there is an ebb and a flow, and obviously based on what we're speaking about and based on emotions, that etiquette isn't always there. It's not always there in podcasting either. You know what it should be.
But I like it though. So the interrupting. Listen, that's real life. I like when that translates into. Okay, so people speaking over each other, I think there's an art to that too in podcasting. Like I agree. There's a level and there's like a little time slot. There's a few seconds where it's needed to bring that authenticity. But when it gets too much and when it's just too harsh on the ears, it gets a little distracting.
And that part.
But there's an art to it.
And in that art, you have to know when you can go in and when to give room to let that other person come back in, right? Like, I'm telling you, I love this so much because these are things I would have never had known if I hadn't potted. You know what I mean? Like, and the more I do it, I'm like, and I critique myself, like, oh, I'm getting better. Oh, because sometimes I feel myself like, damn, I should have made that point there. Because I'm waiting to give that, I have that etiquette, right? I'm waiting and then it goes way too far and I can't bring it back. So I love that you say like that interruption is necessary sometimes.
Guest or not, I'll just go straight in for it. Like, nah, you're bugging. Here's what this is. I got to stop you right there, please. No, do you ever find yourself being a podcaster in real life? Like because that happens a lot. I feel like people who really like love doing this is because you feel like in real life you're always just podcasting. Literally, you're always just trying to just discuss something, argue
There's
something.
There's a mic there all the time.
All the time.
You know what's funny? Before I started podding, my best friend and I used to say, somebody got to hold the camera. Because we just felt like what we were saying was so important. Someone had to hear it. Someone had to capture the vibes and the energy in the conversations. And someone needs to hold the camera. That's literally my life motto.
It's and it feels like this is why this form is, I think it's so popular now. And I do think there's a little bit of a stigma now with podcasting where people kind of feel like, oh, everybody has a mic and a camera. Everybody's doing a podcast, whatever. And that's because I don't mind it, because I think a lot of people are finding now that they can have a voice.
Exactly.
I do think that there's also a misconception that, oh, it's just that. It's just sit down with a mic and a camera and just talk. And there's a lot more to it. And there's a lot of people who get that cold shower and who realize that, oh, it's a lot more
work and structure and planning.
It's a lot more than you think
scheduling. Like it's literally, there's so many aspects to it, right? Because you have people who are the talent who just show up, come sit down, and boom, they're good. You have people who are in pre and post production who come up with the content, the outlines, the topics, and then in post do the editing, do the reels, like and then you have the one woman army like myself who does it all, or you know what I mean, and you've done it all too. So people definitely get this rude awakening. Like it's not just you sitting here speaking. Like there's if you're doing it right, there's a lot that goes into it.
Even in like the growing and marketing and advertising yourself and You know,
And
like it's
advertising yourself as a brand. You know, realizing your podcast is a brand. You are a brand.
Yep.
There's so much. I love this conversation with you.
It's a lot to it. And I think that to anybody who, like anyone who do want to start a podcast, it's like understanding why. Like, I don't think, like, obviously people can do what they want. I'm not going to tell nobody what to do with their time or their money. Like, yeah. But in my humble opinion, it's like really solidifying. It's like, why do you want to speak? Why do you want to have conversations? What do you want to add to this space? Like, and I think also that helps people gain confidence, because when you understand why and what your skill set is and what your strengths are, then you could be like, oh, that makes me even more excited to do that. Yeah.
When you know what you want to say, it's
what do you
a different confidence. We do have to wrap up. Thank you so much again for coming on. Before you go, let them know where they can find you: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever platform you're on. Drop the handles.
First of all, thank you for having me.
This
was dope. This was an absolute honor to be here. First guest of the year.
I love it.
Wow.
You're honored.
I'm honored, but yeah, no, thank you for having me. This was super dope. And y'all make sure y'all keep tuning in with her, okay? Because she's having some dope conversations, and yeah, we gotta absolutely keep supporting. When Black women do great things, gotta keep supporting it. But
I appreciate you.
Yeah, you can find me anywhere. Elischa Edouard, ElischaEdouard on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram. And yeah, man, tap in with your boy. If you don't like soccer, just you know what I'm saying? Come on this side of things. Yes. Just venture onto this side of the road, and I promise you, you're gonna be curious at the very least afterwards.
Literally, keep an open mind. If you like to laugh, head over this way. I'm telling you guys.
It's a great time.
Good times, good vibes, and you learn a lot. I learned a lot from you.
Yes.
I am so excited for what this year has, not just for me, but has in store for you as well. You know, keep creating, keep growing your platforms, and stay authentic and true to who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You shine.
Thank you.
And I shall see you all next week. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tune into Honestly, though, an Elischa show. Okay? All right. Bye.
Later.
That was so good.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.